All right, we had a little technical difficulty. We'll go back to Jared here. This will be a two-part series tonight. So go ahead, Jared.
Okay, so, and please don't, watch both parts. Make sure you finish it all out. So that being said, though, back to the whole kneeling for the national anthem. I do not agree with it. So I would like to express this to everybody. If you care about our troops and everything, then do me the favor and don't tune in tomorrow night to NFL football. Maybe that will show the NFL that they need to make the right choices here and do the right thing.
All right.
All right, now I want to go ahead. I have my pick of the week for the NFL next week is the Los Angeles Rams. I keep on wanting to say St. Louis, but the Los Angeles Rams over the New York Giants. It is at New York, but they're a 3-point favorite early line. I will take the Rams in that game. So that's my pick of the week for the NFL. And I'm going to go ahead and jump Rick on this real quick. For college football, my pick of the week for college football is I'm going to go out on the limb here, and I might even be wrong in this one, and I probably shouldn't because it's dealing with WVU. But Iowa State, which by the way, Iowa State was my pick that I told everybody in the bar about. I said that Iowa State would upset TCU because they've been playing.
Which they did.
Yeah, they've been playing unbelievable. They ended up winning that game 14-7 over TCU. And now this week, Rick, can you believe it? WVU is a 3-point favorite.
At Morgantown.
At Morgantown.
And it's a night game.
It's a night game. That's
and
the good
finally, we were starting to think that Milan Puskar Stadium's lights didn't work because we keep getting noon games.
Yeah.
And Iowa State now has won that last game, makes them bowl eligible now. Remember, we addressed this last week. Iowa State is a scary team.
Yes.
And right now, we're fighting for all the wins that we can get because now we're down 3 losses.
And against the toughest part of our schedule.
And everybody is wanting to throw Greer under the table. He had one bad game, and they're immediately making comparison to Skylar Howard from last year.
Oh, come on, man.
I mean, Greer just had a bad game. I think we'll be fine next
But
week.
this is my problem with Greer, okay? And it's not Greer. It's actually Holgerson, and the offensive coordinator being one-dimensional. I want to not spend too much time on this subject, but one-dimensional, meaning, the defense coordinators, they're not having to worry about the run, so they're just putting everybody, up there to say, hey, beat us with the run because all you're going to do is pass. And guess what? That's what Oklahoma State did. Oklahoma State ended up intercepting Will Greer 4 times, okay, because of the fact all they had to do was say, West Virginia, beat us with the run because we know you're not going to. And guess what? West Virginia didn't. And West Virginia found themselves in a hole they could not get out of, and we ended up losing that game, okay? You cannot be one-dimensional in football and win game in and game out, all right? Now, we are 3-point favorites in Morgantown. Now, I will bring up one interesting fact. Iowa State, I don't know if you know this for sure or not, Rick, but Iowa State's only beat WVU 1 time in our history.
Yeah, and I was there. It was a triple overtime game.
Yes. So they've only won 1 time, so that could play into the fact of the 3-point
That
spread.
was 2013.
Yeah,
That's when that was, because I was there.
so that could play into the fact of why it's 3-point spread, and being a night game in Morgantown, you and I both know of a great night game in
Absolutely.
Morgantown.
Very good, great night game.
I actually, it was so fun that I got left in Morgantown.
GPS here told us that he knew his way around, but apparently he couldn't find our car.
Yeah. There was a lot more.
Yeah, there was more to it. Don't worry.
But hey, still, yeah. All right, fun time. We're going to go ahead though, and we got to talk just a little bit more on college football. Penn State, you let me down.
Yeah.
It's not that I like you, Penn State. It's the fact that you let somebody named with the worthless nuts, the Buckeyes, come back and beat you. All right, you were my dark horse to win the national championship this year, and you let Ohio State come back a 3-touchdown deficit and beat you. What are you doing? All right, I know they have a great coach, Urban Meyer, but my God, come on, Penn State. Don't let a worthless nut beat you like that.
Worthless
Go ahead,
nut.
Rick.
All right, so with that being said, now we're up to the Final Four again. Alabama,
There we go.
Georgia.
Yep.
Georgia's 8-0.
Oh, Georgia's
the real
unbelievable.
deal.
Unbelievable.
Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's going to be in there. My fourth pick will be
I got to hear this one.
Penn State.
All
I
right.
still think Penn State's getting this.
All right. You know, I'll tell you what. And I'm going to agree with you because my only problem is, can Penn State meet Ohio State in the Big Ten championship?
Well,
Or are they on the same side of that
I
bracket?
think they're on the same side of the bracket.
So-
'Cause that would be the East. I guess I will call it the East. There's another name for it. We'll get to that.
Yeah. So okay, now there has to be there's the problem. All right, because we're going to be back in the same thing we were last year, and I guarantee you the voters will end up putting Ohio State in, saying this: oh well, Ohio State won the Big Ten, so they deserve to be in the playoffs. Hello, last year Penn State won the Big 10
Mhm.
but guess who got into the 4-team championship?
Ohio State.
Oh, worthless nuts.
Yeah. So, there's our picks. I'm still going with Penn State as that fourth team. I
Hey.
still say they're in there in the end.
You know,
That's
they lost to a top 10 team. I agree.
Okay.
I think Penn State deserves to be in there, and we're going to go ahead and go with that.
All right. Well, we've just about burnt 20 minutes here already, so we're getting down to the home stretch. We're going to try to keep this around 30 minutes this week because the first night was a 45-minute deal. We're going to go in the World Series. Jared has picked this series. It's going to probably go at I'm going to say 6 games. He
Yeah,
was
man.
right on this. There was a heck of a game the other night going in extra innings.
Wow. Unreal.
These guys-
If you missed that game, you really missed a good one. I
No.
mean, I'm not a big baseball fan, outside of Little League World Series, but wow, I ended up watching that, and wow, what a game.
Yeah. So, that being said, we're going to move to basketball. We don't have much to talk about basketball this week. I did notice that the Bulls is not having a good year this year.
Yeah, it looks like we're fighting that. We're playing the Philadelphia role. We're going to go ahead and try to lose every game of the season. That way we can get the number 1 draft pick.
So, we're not.
And let me go ahead and
Go
just
ahead.
give a little knock here on you, Rick. Not you, but your Lakers. Lonzo Ball. He I don't know. He got sat for a game the other night. And
No.
ended up losing that game. I'm not sure exactly what happened.
I haven't even checked Twitter to see what his dad has to say because I follow, and I do have a Twitter. It's at Rickster Honecker, capital R, capital H.
Hey,
You wanna
follow him on that.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter. I do tweet daily, or I was going to say twit, but that don't sound good. I tweet daily.
I don't have a Twitter account. I probably do
I just
somewhere,
have it
but-
for sports. So with the Lakers down, it's just going to be a long year. Next, NASCAR, something he knows very little about. So if they go forward, turn left, unless they're at a road course. My man, Kyle Busch, wins today. He transfers into the next round of the championship at Martinsville, which coincidentally was the first race I ever went to in 1990 when Davey Allison was driving the black number 28 with the gold numbers. Ricky Rudd was driving for Bud Moore, the 15 Motorcraft car. Ricky Rudd was still driving Levi Garrett. Jeff Bodine was driving the Motorcraft Ford Thunderbird. Bill Elliott was in the old number 9. Rusty Wallace was in the old Black Deuce, the old Miller Genuine draft car. It was actually it was 27 that year.
Big question was number 88, the black car. Was he still driving or?
No,
was
the
he-
88 back in was some no name. I mean, Earnhardt,
Dale Earnhardt.
Big Earnhardt,
Yeah.
number 3. He was there because every time he'd go by the crowd, he would do this.
Oh wait, Earnhardt
Earnhardt
wasn't
was 3.
88.
Yeah, Big Dale was 3.
Oh, who? So okay.
88. The 88.
Once again,
was
I don't know anything about
Yeah.
NASCAR.
88 was actually made originally famous by Buddy Baker, who was the gentle giant of NASCAR. Kyle Busch wins. Haters going to hate. I know they don't like him, but Martinsville back to that was called Johnsonville. Jimmy Johnson usually dominates there. The winner always gets a grandfather clock. And if you've never been to Martinsville, they have the best hot dogs you'll ever eat. And these things are huge. They're infamous for their hot dogs. They have azalea bushes all around. Originally, the race years ago was called the Azalea 500 because the azaleas, there's a train track runs behind it. It's an old school track. It's called the paperclip because it looks like a paperclip. You just laid it down on the ground and cut it out around it. So Martinsville, done. Kyle Busch wins.
All right, it can't be the hot dogs, it's got to be the chili.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Now I'm going to cover some local sports. Greenbrier East wins the other night. They beat Princeton.
Wow.
Greenbrier West won their first game by upsetting number 9 Fayetteville in single A.
Wow.
It was what I could follow, and two of our guys that run the radio out there, which is Mike Goddard and Coach Joey Jennings, done a heck of a job. I happened to catch the third going into the fourth quarter, caught the end of that when I left the East game. They play their final home game this week at Charmco against Valley, the Valley Greyhounds, which is shutting down in 2 years for a consolidation. East goes to Spring Valley, and some of them will remember. Spring Valley had D1 prospect linemen. When I was at the game, these guys are walking past me, and I'm going, I couldn't believe the size of these guys are huge. Spring Valley is called the Timberwolves, which brings me to my next thing. My Timberwolves, the Western Greenbrier Middle School, played in the championship at Summers County Thursday night. They lost to Summers County.
Oh.
It was a really good game. It was a 4-point game, actually. Well, on the flip side of that, they've got some kids coming back next year. They'll be decent. And then with Eastern, I did find out the other night, Eastern did it their third undefeated season in a row. So
Wow.
shout out to Coach Stewart and his staff and the parents and everybody for Eastern. I always, even though I do work at the other school, I always give some perks to Eastern because that is my home school, even though it wasn't around in 1985. With that being said, we're going to move up to fantasy and our fantasy picks for the upcoming week. I'll let Mr. Fantasy Guru go for it here.
All right, you know what? Until he proves me wrong, I've got to go with the rookie once again. My pick last week was Deshaun Watson for the fantasy pick of the week. My man here, Rick, he's got Will Fuller, who I also wanted on my team and wish I had, but he told me no,
Yeah.
he can't help me out there.
Denied.
And actually, if you ever had anything to watch him and I talk about fantasy football. That's where the fighting really happens because I don't care. He won't help me out. And my team's struggling, but because of Deshaun Watson, my pick of the week, I actually won today. So that being said, my fantasy pick of the week, and he's no longer a sleeper, is Deshaun Watson. The guy is a maniac and not Matt's maniac.
That's for you, Ridgeway.
That's
All right.
2 plugs in one night.
My fantasy pick, and he got the week off, was my guy that I drafted in about my second or third pick, Leonard Fournette, running back, Jacksonville.
Hey, good pick coming off of a bye week.
Yeah, he was a little banged up. He's he's going to be good.
So as long as he's not injured, I'll go with you on that. I think I'd have to agree with you. That'd be a good pick.
Now, before we get to our good vibes and our shout outs, there's 2 things I want to bring up. One, and he's going to like this one. Actually, he'll like both of mine. We had a celebrity birthday last week. That's for you, Reedy, by the way. Our celebrity birthday last week, who turned 55 years old, was Doug Flutie.
Oh, drafted by the Chicago Bears.
Doug Flutie, and some of these people will not know this, was 0-4 against WVU.
Oh, yes.
He threw the big bomb to Gerald Phelan.
Dan Marino was also never won against WVU.
Hey, we'll take that. Remember, Flutie goes to Canada. He plays the NFL. He doesn't do very good. He goes to Canada. He's a superstar. Comes back to the NFL.
He beat the Miami Hurricanes. I mean, with one of the most hyped Hail Marys of all time. I mean.
And if memory serves me correctly, Doug Flutie was the last quarterback for the Buffalo Bills to win a playoff game. And the Buffalo Bills have not won a playoff game since 1999. And of course, that was the Miracle City, the Music City Miracle with the big mega lateral to
By the way,
Wycheck.
Buffalo is 5-2.
Buffalo
after
was on a
beating
roll.
Oakland today.
And I
They are
started
now 5-2.
Tyrod Taylor, by the way, this week, and he did me a good job again. But from VT, for you VT fans out there's a few of you, we know. So, yeah, good old Doug Flutie. He was 5'9 3/4. I remember that in Sports Illustrated. Not plugging Sports Illustrated, but I do remember that. He was 5'9 3/4. He was a little man. He played. Oh, and he's the last one to do a drop kick in the NFL too, which got outlawed later thanks to Bill Belichick, who came up with that idea. They backed up. It's on YouTube. Watch the last drop kick in the NFL ever. It's still legal in college and high school, though.
And Rick's a heck of a drop kicker.
Yeah, well, some thought. And there was an anniversary Friday. This might get him set off here just a little bit. The anniversary Friday was in 2002 when Emmitt Smith broke Walter
my
Payton's
God.
all-time leading rushing record.
I mean, when you have to go out of the NFL averaging 2.3 yards per carry, Rick, just to be able to break a record.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, the one who should have broke it was
What?
Barry Sanders. I
Well-
mean, Barry Sanders retired from football because of the fact that he said, I'm not going to challenge the best running back of all time's record just to be able to
Smith?
beat that record.
Emmitt Smith, greatest of all time. That is going to be, but you have to agree with me here. That is going to be a record. It's going to be hard to break, and here's why. Because the NFL is so pass happy now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been a big difference, 15, 16 years ago.
Hey, Jordan Howard might have a chance because Chicago doesn't like to throw the ball.
No, and I'm telling you, if I was offensive coordinator or John Fox, I would run Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen down your throat 2 out of the 4 downs. And even on the 3rd down, pass it to one of them because they can catch it. But I had to throw in my Emmitt Smith plug because I did catch that Friday. It's still a big deal. And I never will forget watching that live on TV, and he hugged Daryl Johnston and said, thanks to you, I got these. And I can say...
Hey, you met Daryl Johnston.
And I've met Daryl Johnson. He's a really, really nice guy.
Hey, we finally got to go toe-to-toe right here.
Yeah, finally, for all you want.
Hey, he
But
had to...
I still say that Emmitt Smith's the greatest back of all time because of the rushing record. Barry Sanders was a great running back. He just played on a sorry team. That was his problem. Jim Brown played on great teams.
Oh,
Gale
God.
Sayers.
But give Barry Sanders or Walter Payton, give them that offensive line that
back then.
Emmitt Smith had, and
Yeah.
my God, there wouldn't even be a record to be touched.
Right. Gale Sayers never was on a winning team in 9 years.
Right.
Never. So, and him and Butkus was
And
drafted the same draft.
6 of his years, actually, he played basically on broken knees.
Yeah, but anyway, so there's that, and we're gonna go into our good vibes for the week. We always like to do some good vibes, and I'm gonna let Jared do our good vibes for the week.
All right. My good vibes this week is I hope everyone, like I'm going to, protests the protests of the NFL. All right. Let's stand strong for our country, the men and women that go out and fight for us. Let's stand strong for them and show our support of them instead of supporting what does not need to be supported.
My good vibe / shout out is going to be professional. We've had a little incident here in our county, and I'm not going to go into detail with that, but I just want to give a quick shout out to Mac Brackenridge and his family and all his friends and his co-workers that we're all fighting for you, and you know where we're at, and we're all behind you. And I want to wish the Greenbrier West and Greenbrier East good luck in their last games of the year because the seniors will probably never play organized sports again. And I've preached this for a few years now. You don't get that back when you lose it. And me and other guys that's played organized sports would give anything to go back and play another set of downs, run one more quarter, play another inning or two
Shoot,
of baseball.
I'd love to go out right now next week and get a game of football, flag football, with a bunch of friends. But I can't even get that. I mean, let alone play organized
It's just
football
hard.
again.
Yeah, it's hard with our schedules. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and cut this down. We look forward to seeing you guys next week. Maybe in a week or two, we're going to go Facebook Live. You guys will have a chance to comment.
Thanks for all the support. We actually have like 190 views or more.
We had 124 hours.
Yeah, so I mean that's incredible.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Keep it up. It'll get better. If you've got any questions or comments, contact Jared or I. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Ask me a question on there. Let's be clean about it. Let's be professional about it. But just ask us that. But we're two guys again love sports.
And share to your friends. Share to your
Yes,
friends.
please.
That way they can share to their friends. Let's get this thing rolling. And like Rick said, give us any feedback on what we want to change, what we need to change, what we can put more of out there. And let's get this thing going. Thanks, guys.
Okay, guys. Thank you, guys. Good night. We'll see you next Sunday.